I'm Erin Marciano, and today I'm going to show you how to make sets, which means that if you want to make more than one of the same thing, same size, same shape, I'm going to show you the tools and tricks to be able to do that. The first thing you're going to need is a caliper. So calipers are used to measure the opening, and I'll show you how to use that today. And the other thing that I like to use is obviously a ruler to kind of measure how tall something is, so that, again, if my first pot is 5 inches tall, my second pot's also going to be 5 inches tall. Alright? So today I'm thinking about making mugs, of course. I'm a mug fanatic. So, let me just make sure this is nice and centered. There we go. Alright, so my wheel head's nice and clean. I have wedged 2-pound balls of clay. I'm going to make 2 mugs, hopefully around the same size and shape. Alright. Taking some medium speed. So they're going to be altered cylinders. So by now you have mastered or become competent in throwing cylinders, throwing bowls, and throwing altered cylinders. That way, if you want to make a set of bowls, you know how to do that. If you want to make a set of cylinders, you know how to do that. A set of altered cylinders like I'm doing today, you should be able to do that. So it's important to always measure your clay if you want to make sets. It's just another way to make sure you're getting as close as you can to making an identical form. 2 pounds is kind of a lot for a mug. Usually it's around a pound, pound and a half. I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't thrown that consistently. The whole, teaching thing kind of gets put as number 1 on my priority list. So I had a feeling I'm probably gonna need a little extra clay because I'm not throwing as thin and beautiful as I normally do, or I used to do, I should say. Start off the same as I would do for an altered cylinder, compressing my base. Didn't want to open it too far. It's really important that mugs are never too heavy. So I'm trying to make sure these walls are nice and even, they're not too thick. About halfway, I start to slowly release because the middle to upper part of my vessel is at the correct thickness, just the bottom part that needs some pulling. Alright, so I've gotten to about the correct size and thickness that I want for my walls. I want to make sure my lip is nice and even, the inside of my vessel doesn't have any water in it. Alright, so from there I'm going to go ahead and stop my wheel. I want to go ahead and measure it. So the first pot you throw is going to kind of determine, unless you're making more from like last time, but the first pot is determining how tall. So it's looking like about 5 inches. It's important that you really make sure it's exactly the height every time. So yeah, it's at 5 inches. That way I know next time when I throw my cylinder for my second mug, it's going to be the same height. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little belly. Now, of course, as I start to stretch this clay, it is going to become a little shorter, so I'll measure it again after I'm totally done throwing this, but I wanted to start off, before I started altering the cylinder, I wanted to know how tall it was. I am horrible with numbers. I'm probably going to forget all these dimensions before I get to the second one, so I have to keep reminding myself that it is 5 inches tall before I alter. You need to write it down somewhere. It's recommended. So I'm starting to make a little bit of a belly. And then towards the top of the lip, I'm going to go ahead and collar it slightly. I'm trying to think of how a mouth would feel as it goes to drink out of this. And so I want to kind of create that little bottom lip rest. And then I'm going to slightly flare out the lip. Again, a chamois is a great tool, especially for mugs. I love using a chamois for a mug lip. It just makes it super smooth. So instead of a chamois, I'm using the lip of my finger. Now this is where I bring in the calipers. So the calipers are super loose right now. You're going to notice that there's this wing nut that you can tighten up to actually create a correct measurement for future. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going to use the pointy part on either side. I'm going to line them up with just where the lip starts. So right where that lip is, I'm going to measure that. I'm just bringing in now until I get the right measurement. Take as much time as you need to do this. It is important that it's done correctly. And then once you have the correct measurement, tighten it the best you can. Alright, so now that I have the correct measurement, I'm going to save this for next time. It's important that if you're trying to make sets, or you do use calipers when it comes to making a lid. So let's say this is my vessel and I need to make a lid, I'm going to use my calipers, and it's important to throw everything on the same day. So if I want to make a set of 2 mugs, I try to throw them on the same day. It's just muscle memory. It also allows me to dry them at the same time, put handles on at the same time, all that good stuff. So I've got my measurement of the opening, and then I'm going to go ahead and measure again the height, and we'll see how far down it went. Shouldn't have gone down too far. So it's about 4 3/4. It's also nice to throw everything at the same time because, as you know, clay starts to shrink as it dries. And if we're looking at something that's already been fired or already been drying, it's slightly smaller than what we just threw. Trimming my skirt, get rid of some of the clay. Alright. I've got a board ready. It's important to have that out. Less getting up, less moving around, less time for your body to forget what you just threw. So if you can have all your clay wedged and ready for you right where you're sitting, that's always ideal. Just make one, throw it, put it on a board, pop on another piece of clay, and do it again. This does take a lot of practice. I would not be surprised at all if my first and second don't look exact. However, setting yourself up for at least the ability to succeed with the calipers and ruler and the same amount of clay is really important. So it's also really important to have your board nearby. That way, as you're throwing your second or your third or your fourth, you have the other ones that you can look at eye level. So you can see the shape of it because you already have the measurement. more than one thing at a time. I always clean off the wheel head. Use my towel. And dry off the wheel head too. This poor baby needs to get cleaned. Alright, on to your second. It's also important that you wedge everything at the same time. So if your clay's been sitting for 2 weeks and then you wedge a brand new ball of clay, it's going to be different from your first to your second. So I wedged my clay at the same time from the same batch of clay. Consistency is very important. I feel like now that I've warmed up, throwing for a little bit, this one's going to be a lot taller than the other one before I alter it, so I may have some clay to cut off. If you haven't thrown in a while, or you feel like you need to warm up, throw a few pots to start off with before trying to create a set. That will help. So right now I'm just feeling thickness. Got a little bit of thickness at the bottom in the skirt, but we'll see what height we're at and if I need to pull some of that height up, or that clay up a little bit more to add on to the height. Yep, so it's just short. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up a little bit more to get to that 5 inches. Again. Of course, now it's just over, which is fine actually because the lip is slightly off. It's got a slight wiggle to it, so I'm going to cut off just a teeny tiny top, and that should be exactly 5 inches. I know it seems tedious, you know, 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch seems crazy, but if you guys want something exact, if you want it to look like a set, that's where the detail comes into play. There we go. Alright, so I'm taking all the water out of the inside. I want to look at my first pot that I made to remind myself how far up the curve was and how gradual it was. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the water out, fix the lip. I'm not going to alter it. I know I always fix the wall after I trim the skirt, but I want to get these two next to each other to kind of check out what's going on before I finalize this shape. So we're going to take our first one and our second one. I think I need to take a little bit more clay down in here with my one knife. Besides that, it's looking pretty good. And then I'm going to check my opening. Yep. And my height. It needs to be 5. Or 4 3/4, I mean. Yeah, it's about right. Maybe slightly tall so I can flare out the lip a little bit more. But I am good. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. You're going to do the same thing as trimming an altered cylinder. So whatever clay you feel like needs to be taken away on both, really make sure to dry them out at the same time and check them. Check the thicknesses on both so that when you go to trim, you're also trimming them the same.
Custodian, please report to the cafeteria for help with the pasta dinner. Custodian to the cafeteria, please.
Right. Alright, so my second one is slightly taller than my first one. I told you guys that would happen because I was all warmed up. So you can see that the second one is about 1/4 inch taller than the first one. I may find that when I'm trimming, I have more clay in the bottom of the second one that I can kind of trim down. Otherwise, they're more like a brother and sister than identical twin, which is totally fine. So definitely practice a lot when it comes to making sets. It's not an easy thing to do, so feel free to practice as much as possible and don't feel like you are doing a horrible job if you're getting maybe second cousins instead of brother and sisters when it comes to making sets. Alright, so if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, go practice.